Hey Taurus, I need to share something with you that came through in the cards today. And honestly, this reading has been sitting heavy on my heart because what I am seeing here is not just about drama or toxic people anymore. This is about divine timing, protection, and the moment when the universe itself steps in to say enough is enough. You have been surrounded by energy that has pretended to support you, people who have smiled to your face while plotting behind your back, and I know you have felt it. That gnawing sensation in your gut telling you something is not quite right with certain connections in your life. Well, the cards are bringing clarity today, and what they are revealing is going to shift everything for you moving forward. Before I pull the first card, I want you to understand something crucial about this reading. This is not about you being vindictive or seeking revenge. This is about divine intervention removing what no longer serves your highest good. There are people around you who have been masquerading as fans, friends, supporters, but their true intentions are about to be exposed in ways you could not have orchestrated even if you tried. The universe has been watching, taking notes, and now it is time for the truth to surface. So take a deep breath, because what I'm about to share with you is going to confirm suspicions you have had and reveal layers you did not even know existed. The first card I pulled for you is the Six of Wands, and when this card showed up in this particular context, I had to pause and really sit with the energy, because here is what is happening. The Six of Wands traditionally represents victory, public recognition, and triumph. You are coming out on top after a period of struggle. But the interesting thing about this card in your reading today is that it is not just showing your victory. It is simultaneously revealing who has been secretly uncomfortable with your success. Think about it, Taurus. When you start winning, when you start glowing, when you start thriving, despite the obstacles thrown your way, certain people around you cannot hide their true colors anymore. The Six of Wands is that moment when you are elevated to a position where the contrast between genuine supporters and fake ones becomes glaringly obvious. What I am seeing here is that you have been achieving things recently, or you are about to step into a level of recognition that makes some people very nervous. These are the individuals who have been watching your every move, commenting on your posts, showing up in your space, but their energy has been off. You might have brushed it aside, told yourself you were being paranoid, but the cards are confirming that your intuition was absolutely correct. These snake-like individuals, and I am calling them that because that is exactly what their energy feels like, have been studying you. They have been taking notes on your strategies, your vulnerabilities, your patterns. They have watched how you move through challenges, how you celebrate your wins. And they have been gathering this information not to celebrate with you, but to use against you. The Six of Wands is telling me that your upcoming or current success is going to trigger a response from these people. Some of them will start making subtle negative comments disguised as concern. Others might suddenly become distant or unavailable now that you do not need their validation anymore. And then there are those who will actively try to diminish your accomplishments by pointing out flaws, bringing up past failures, or reminding you of times when things did not go your way. But here is the beautiful part about this card. It is showing me that their attempts to dim your light are going to backfire spectacularly. Every effort they make to undermine you is actually going to highlight their own insecurities and jealousy to everyone watching. I am also seeing with this Six of Wands that you have earned this victory through genuine hard work and integrity. You have not cut corners, you have not stepped on people to get where you are going, and that is why the divine is protecting you so fiercely right now. The universe recognizes authentic effort and pure intentions. So while these fake supporters have been busy plotting and scheming, you have been busy building something real and sustainable. That is the difference. That is why you are going to emerge from this situation not just victorious, but also vindicated. People are going to see the truth about who was real and who was fake, and you will not even have to say a word. The evidence will speak for itself. Let me go deeper into this Six of Wands energy, because there is another layer here that is really important for you to understand. This card is also showing me that some of these fake supporters have been living vicariously through you. They attach themselves to your journey not because they genuinely cared about you as a person, but because being associated with you gave them status, access, or reflected glory. As long as you were struggling or in a position where you needed their help or validation, they felt secure in the relationship. But now that you are rising to a level where you do not need them anymore, they are panicking. The Six of Wands reveals that their so-called support was always conditional and transactional. They were never celebrating you. They were celebrating what your connection to them did for their own image or agenda. And now that you are outgrowing that dynamic, they are scrambling to either pull you back down or distance themselves before your success makes their own stagnation more obvious. Now, the second card that came through is the Emperor, and this is where the energy shifts from recognition to authority and structure. The Emperor is about taking control, setting boundaries, and establishing order. After everything I just shared about the Six of Wands and these fake people around you, the Emperor is the universe telling you that it is time to rule your kingdom with a firm hand. No more letting people have access to your energy just because they have been around for a while. No more tolerating disrespect because you do not want to cause waves. The Emperor says your softness has been mistaken for weakness by the wrong people, and now it is time to show them the strength that has always been there. What I love about the Emperor showing up in your reading is that it represents divine masculine energy, which for you, Taurus, means tapping into your assertive, protective, no-nonsense side. You are naturally a gentle, patient sign. You give people chances, you try to see the best in them, you avoid conflict when possible. But the Emperor is saying that your kindness has created an environment where certain individuals have felt comfortable disrespecting you. They have assumed that because you do not react immediately or dramatically to their subtle jabs and manipulations, you are either unaware or unbothered. They could not be more wrong. The Emperor reveals that you have been very aware of what has been happening. You have simply been choosing your battles wisely and waiting for the right moment to address things properly. The divine intervention aspect of this reading really comes through strongly with the Emperor, because this card is telling me that you are being given divine authority to restructure your life. Imagine a king or queen sitting on their throne, surveying their kingdom, and realizing that there are disloyal subjects in the court. The Emperor does not beg these people to be loyal. The Emperor does not try to convince them of their worth. The Emperor simply removes them from positions of influence and replaces them with those who have proven their integrity. That is what is happening in your life right now. You are being divinely guided to identify and remove the toxic elements that have infiltrated your space. I am seeing that some of you Taurus individuals might struggle with this because you hate burning bridges or cutting people off. You might feel guilty about setting firm boundaries or walking away from connections that once meant something to you. But the Emperor is reminding you that true leadership sometimes requires difficult decisions. Protecting your peace, your energy, and your future means being willing to disappoint people who have gotten comfortable with your tolerance of their behavior. The shocking news that this reading title mentioned is not just about what others have been doing. It is also about the shocking realization that you have the power to end this drama by simply refusing to participate in it anymore. There is something else about the Emperor that I need to share with you because it is coming through really strongly right now. This card is also about legacy and long-term thinking. The Emperor does not make decisions based on temporary comfort or avoiding short-term discomfort. The Emperor makes decisions based on what will create lasting stability and prosperity. When you cut off these toxic connections, you might feel lonely at first, you might second-guess yourself or wonder if you were too harsh, but the Emperor is asking you to think bigger than that immediate discomfort. Think about where you want to be in 5 years, 10 years. Do you want to still be dealing with the same people who drain your energy and undermine your progress? Or do you want to build a life surrounded by genuine supporters who actually want to see you thrive? The Emperor says that the temporary pain of setting boundaries is nothing compared to the long-term suffering of staying in toxic dynamics. You are being called to think like a ruler who is building an empire, not like someone who is just trying to get through another day. The third card is the Four of Cups, and this one is absolutely fascinating in the context of your reading because it is showing me a very specific dynamic. The Four of Cups traditionally represents apathy, disconnection, or being offered something and not recognizing its value. But in your situation, I am seeing this card in reverse energy, even though it appeared upright. which tells me that you are waking up from a period of emotional disengagement. Let me explain what I mean. When you are surrounded by fake people, when you are dealing with constant low-key betrayal and manipulation, there is a natural defense mechanism that kicks in. You start to emotionally distance yourself. You stop sharing as much. You become more guarded and less enthusiastic about things that once excited you. The Four of Cups is showing me that you have been in this protective state, and honestly, it was necessary for your survival. But here is where it gets interesting. While you have been in this Four of Cups energy, pulling back and observing rather than engaging, you have been given a divine perspective that you would not have had otherwise. Sometimes we need to step back from the chaos to see it clearly. When you are in the middle of drama, reacting emotionally to every slight and manipulation, you cannot see the patterns. You cannot see who is orchestrating what and why. But from the position of the Four of Cups, sitting under your tree, arms crossed, watching from a distance, you have been able to see everything. You have watched how people interact with each other when you are not in the room. You have noticed who only reaches out when they need something. You have observed who celebrates your losses and who feels threatened by your wins. The divine gift hidden in this Four of Cups energy is that while these snake-like individuals thought they were successfully manipulating you, you were actually gathering information and clarity. They mistook your quietness for ignorance. They assumed your lack of reaction meant you did not notice their schemes. But the truth is, you noticed everything. You just chose not to react prematurely. You waited, watched, and allowed people to reveal themselves fully before making any moves. That is wisdom, Taurus. That is divine strategy right there. The Four of Cups in this reading is confirming that your period of emotional withdrawal was not weakness or depression. It was divine protection and preparation. Now, the shocking news component really comes through with this card because I am seeing that information is about to be revealed to you that confirms everything you suspected during this observational period. Someone might confess something. You might stumble upon evidence that validates your intuition, or circumstances might shift in a way that forces these fake people to show their true colors publicly. Whatever form it takes, the Four of Cups is saying that your patience and discernment are about to pay off. You are going to receive confirmation that will make you grateful you did not react emotionally or impulsively to the provocations you were experiencing. You are going to see that the divine was protecting you by giving you this contemplative, observant energy during a time when others were trying to bait you into drama. What I am also picking up from the Four of Cups is that during this period of emotional withdrawal, you might have missed or ignored some genuine opportunities or connections because you were in self-protection mode. The card shows someone so focused on what is not working that they miss the hand reaching out from the clouds, offering them something new. The divine is gently nudging you to recognize that while it was important to pull back and observe, there is now a need to open yourself up again to authentic connections and opportunities. Not everyone is fake. Not everyone has ulterior motives. The Four of Cups is reminding you that part of moving forward means being willing to trust again, to hope again, to engage again, but this time with the wisdom you have gained from your period of observation. You now know what red flags to look for. You now understand the difference between genuine interest and manipulative attention. So when you do open your heart again, you will be doing so from a place of empowerment rather than naivety. The fourth card is the Knight of Cups, and this is where the reading takes a really interesting turn because this card represents emotional communication, romantic gestures, or someone bringing you a message or offer. In the context of this reading about fake supporters and divine intervention, the Knight of Cups is showing me that someone is going to approach you with what appears to be an olive branch or an emotional appeal. This could be one of the individuals who has been operating in the shadows, or it could be a messenger bringing you information about these people. Either way, the Knight of Cups energy is about emotional expression and communication, and you need to be very discerning about how you receive this. If this Knight of Cups represents someone from your past or present circle coming to you with apologies or explanations, I need you to understand something crucial. The cards are showing me that this approach might seem genuine on the surface. They might cry, they might express remorse, they might tell you they miss you or they realize they made mistakes. But here is what the divine wants you to know. The Knight of Cups can represent beautiful words and romantic gestures, but it does not always represent authentic transformation. Some people are very good at performing emotions without actually changing their behaviors. They know how to say what you want to hear without actually addressing the core issues that cause the problems in the first place. The divine intervention aspect here is that you are being given spiritual discernment to see beyond the pretty words and emotional displays. You are going to be able to feel in your gut whether someone is genuinely transformed or simply trying a new strategy to regain access to your life. The Knight of Cups in this reading is not necessarily a warning against this person or message. It is a reminder to stay grounded in your wisdom even when emotions are being stirred. Let me tell you something about manipulation tactics. When straightforward schemes do not work, manipulative people often switch to emotional vulnerability as their next strategy. They know that kind-hearted people like you, Taurus, have a hard time turning away someone who appears genuinely remorseful or hurt. But the Emperor energy from earlier in this reading is working with this Knight of Cups to give you strength and clarity. You can acknowledge someone's feelings without giving them access to your life again. You can accept an apology without restoring a relationship. You can listen to someone's message without being obligated to respond in the way they hope. The divine is teaching you through this Knight of Cups that compassion and boundaries can coexist. In fact, sometimes the most compassionate thing you can do for yourself and for others is to maintain clear boundaries that prevent unhealthy dynamics from continuing. Now, if this Knight of Cups represents a messenger bringing you information rather than someone seeking reconciliation, then what I am seeing is that someone is going to share with you the truth about what has been happening behind the scenes. This person might be moved by their conscience, or they might have their own falling out with the group of people who have been operating against you. Whatever their motivation, the information they bring is going to be eye-opening. You might hear about conversations that took place about you, plans that were made, or intentions that were hidden. This revelation will feel shocking in the moment, but it will also bring a sense of validation and closure. You will finally have concrete confirmation of what your intuition has been telling you all along. I want to go deeper into this Knight of Cups because there is another dimension to this card that is really important. Knights are action cards. They represent movement, pursuit, and mission-driven energy. So whether this knight is bringing you an emotional appeal from a fake friend or information from a truth teller, the key thing is that something is moving toward you. This is not passive energy. Someone is actively seeking you out, actively trying to connect with you, actively bringing something to your awareness. The question becomes, what is their true motivation? The cup suit is all about emotions, relationships, intuition, and matters of the heart. So this night is bringing something emotional to your doorstep. The divine is preparing you for this encounter by strengthening your discernment through all the other cards in this reading. You have the victory mindset of the Six of Wands, the firm boundaries of the Emperor, and the observational wisdom of the Four of Cups. All of that is preparing you to handle this Knight of Cups moment with grace and clarity. The fifth card is the Hierophant, and honestly, when this card appeared, I felt a wave of relief wash over me because this is divine intervention in its purest form. The Hierophant represents spiritual authority, divine wisdom, traditional values, and higher guidance. This card is telling me that you are not alone in this situation. You have divine forces, spiritual guides, ancestors, whatever you believe in, working behind the scenes on your behalf. The Hierophant is the universe's way of saying we have got your back and we are going to make sure that truth and justice prevail in this situation. What I find really powerful about the Hierophant in your reading is that it represents a higher moral and spiritual order being restored. These people who have been operating from a place of jealousy, manipulation, and deception might have thought they were getting away with their behavior. They might have felt clever about their schemes and comfortable in their duplicity. But the Hierophant says that there are universal laws at play that cannot be bypassed no matter how cunning someone thinks they are. One of those laws is that deception and malice eventually expose themselves. Another law is that genuine integrity and authentic living are always protected by divine forces. The Hierophant is also about tradition, wisdom, and established systems of belief. In your situation, this might manifest as you returning to your core values and the spiritual or moral principles that guide your life. Maybe during this period of dealing with fake people and drama, you have found yourself questioning your judgment or wondering if you are too trusting or too naive. The Hierophant is here to tell you that your values are not the problem. Your kindness is not a weakness. Your desire to see the best in people is not foolishness. What needs to change is not who you are at your core, but rather who you allow access to that beautiful core. The Hierophant teaches that sacred spaces must be protected, that not everyone deserves entry into the temple of your life. I am also seeing with the Hierophant that some of you might be guided to seek wisdom from a mentor, spiritual advisor, therapist, or trusted elder during this time. Sometimes when we are too close to a situation, we need an outside perspective from someone who has wisdom and experience. The Hierophant encourages you to reach out for guidance if you are feeling confused or overwhelmed by what is being revealed. There is no shame in seeking support. In fact, it is a sign of wisdom to know when you need help processing something. The divine is placing people in your path who can offer you perspective, validation, and practical advice for moving forward. Let me share something else about the Hierophant that is coming through really clearly. This card also represents teaching and learning. You have been the student in this situation, learning difficult but necessary lessons about human nature, about discernment, about protection of your energy. But the Hierophant is showing me that you are transitioning from student to teacher. The wisdom you are gaining through this experience is not just for your own benefit. You are going to be in a position to help others who go through similar situations. Your story, your lessons, your insights about recognizing fake people and setting boundaries, these are going to be valuable to others who look up to you. The Hierophant often appears when someone is being prepared for a leadership or teaching role. So while this current situation feels painful and challenging, understand that it is equipping you with wisdom that you will eventually share with others. Your mess is becoming your message. Your test is becoming your testimony. The sixth and final card in your reading is the World, and I have got to tell you, Taurus, when this card showed up as your conclusion card, I actually got emotional because this is the ultimate card of completion, achievement, and cosmic justice. The World represents a full cycle ending and a new chapter beginning. Everything that you have been through, all the fake people you have had to deal with, all the manipulation and drama, it was all part of a divine curriculum designed to teach you discernment, strength, and the value of authentic connections. The World is telling you that you are graduating from this chapter. You have learned the lessons, you have developed the wisdom. Now it is time to close this door and step into a completely new reality. What makes the World so powerful in this position is that it represents not just personal completion, but cosmic alignment. Everything is coming together in divine timing. The fake people are being removed or exposed. Your true supporters are becoming more visible. Your own clarity and strength are at an all-time high, and the universe is preparing to reward you for staying true to yourself throughout this challenging period. The World says that you did not compromise your integrity, even when it would have been easier to do so. You did not stoop to the level of those who tried to bring you down. You maintained your dignity, and that matters tremendously in the cosmic accounting of things. The shocking news that this reading has been built around is ultimately this: everything that was done in darkness is coming to light, and you are being liberated from connections that were holding you back. The World represents freedom, completion, and the beginning of a new cycle where you get to operate from a place of wisdom rather than innocence. You know now what to look for. You understand the red flags. You recognize the patterns of manipulation and fakery. This knowledge does not make you cynical or closed off. It makes you discerning and powerful. The World is showing me that you are stepping into a version of yourself that is both open-hearted and wise, both generous and boundaried, both trusting and discerning. I am seeing that within a relatively short period, you are going to look back on this chapter and feel grateful for everything that happened, even the painful parts. The world promises that every experience, even the negative ones, was contributing to your evolution. Those fake supporters taught you how to identify genuine ones. That drama taught you the value of peace. Those betrayals taught you the importance of protecting your energy. The world is saying that nothing was wasted, nothing was meaningless, and you are now ready to fully embrace the beautiful new chapter that awaits you. There is one more thing about the world that I need to share because it is coming through so strongly. This card depicts a figure dancing in the center of a wreath, surrounded by the 4 elements and the 4 fixed signs of the Zodiac. It represents wholeness, integration, and mastery. What this means for you, Taurus, is that you are stepping into a phase of your life where you are going to feel more whole and integrated than ever before. All the fragmented parts of yourself, all the confusion about who to trust and how to navigate relationships, all of that is coming together into clarity. You are mastering the art of being authentically yourself while also being wise about who you share that authentic self with. The world shows someone who has traveled the entire journey of the tarot, from the innocence of the fool to the completion of the world, and has gained wisdom at every step. That is you right now. You have completed a major cycle of growth, and the universe is celebrating your graduation into this new level of consciousness and awareness. So here's what I want you to take away from this reading, Taurus. The divine has intervened on your behalf. The snake-like individuals in your life are being exposed and removed. You are receiving or about to receive shocking confirmation of things you suspected. And most importantly, you are stepping into a new level of wisdom, discernment, and personal power. The drama is ending not because you fought against it, but because you outgrew it. You elevated yourself to a point where these lower vibrational connections simply cannot reach you anymore. That is divine intervention. That is cosmic justice. That is your reality now. Trust what you are feeling. Trust what is being revealed. And most importantly, trust that you are divinely protected as you navigate this transition. The best is yet to come.